television neighbor. Good to see you. We're back. Happy Wednesday, 24th day of March, 2021. I am Dan Kuntz. As you can see outside of our studios from our cross camera, it's pretty cloudy. It's unbelievably mild. When I got up this morning at 3:45, it was 45 degrees in downtown Wenatchee. It's 43 right now. Temperatures are all in the 40s. Cashmere, you're at 44. Chelan, 47. Very mild, because there's that storm system we told you about. We didn't keep this a secret. It's working its way in. Going to give us a little bit of light rain this morning, a little bit of wind. Going to leave the area overnight tonight into early Thursday morning. Then we're in a beautiful stretch of weather. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, most of Sunday. And another system comes in Sunday into Monday, but just in time for a beautiful weekend. Nicest weekend we've had all year coming up. With temperatures in the 60s. I have a feeling a lot of yard work will be getting done on Saturday and Sunday by people. Not me, of course. I've got things to do. So we'll have your weather forecast. We'll have your news headlines in just a little bit. Sports, including some scores from last night. And we'll preview the Louisville Cardinals. They play their second round game this afternoon. So we'll hear from Haley Van Lith when we get to sports. We'll also have the obscure holiday today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Mike McDonough's Gone with Opinion. And via Skype from beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, I had a chance to check in with a member of the extended Kuntz family. Tayla Lynn is her name. She's married to my nephew, John Cody. She is a country singer with the last name Lynn. I'll give you a little hint about who she's related to and what her new album is all about. Tayla has a new album, and Loretta Lynn has a new album out, her 46th studio album. We'll talk about that in the back half of the program. All right, let's take our tour. Let's see what we got. Well, we got clouds is what we have. High clouds. Again, we are expecting maybe a raindrop or two before this day is said and done. That is what we affectionately call the cross camera, which is right next to the cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. The brightly lit cross, you've probably noticed, they switched out the old lights. They went to LEDs. It's a lot brighter, and of course, it's a lot more energy efficient. This morning when I got into the office, I looked at the Black Mountain camera above Peshastin. It was snowing up there, and it's snowing in the mountain passes too, by the way. Especially on Stevens. They have a traction tire advisory. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. Camera number 2, Megan's Choice, of course. Let's see, Jump Off Ridge? Yay, I got one right. I was terrible yesterday. I think I didn't get a single one right. Jump Off Ridge, high above the Malaga area in the Stimel Basin. Orchards are hanging around there. You can see quite a bit of the East Wenatchee area. I think I can see, yep, there's the Highlander Golf Course. There's the third hole of the Highlander Golf Course. There's somebody three-putting. My vision isn't that good. Good morning to our friends up Jump Off Ridge Way, and you can actually see the Three Lakes area and the Three Lakes Golf Course as well. Camera number 3. Why do I always do golf courses? Looks to be the McNeil Canyon camera. Am I correct, Megan? I have gotten confirmation from Megan on that. That is the very top of McNeil Canyon. So to your right is Lake Chelan. You can see a little sliver of it. To your left is the Chelan Butte, which still has a little bit of snow on it. To the bottom of your screen is an automobile. I am so good at this. At the very top of McNeil Canyon. A beautiful view from our Sky-Fi cameras. And finally, camera number 4. Let's see if I can go 4 for 4. Appalachians. Looking at Kashmir. We had a great time in Kashmir, by the way, last Friday night doing the Pear Bowl between the Bulldogs and the Kodiaks. The folks in Kashmir treated us well. They're known for their hospitality. So good morning to Kashmir from the we call it the Appalachians camera. It's on that ridge high above Appalachians Antique Mall, looking over Kashmir. A couple of slides to show for you. Slide number 1 is going to be talking about our rain, and you can see, being in the lee of the Cascades and the rain shadow, we're not going to get much of anything, but we're still going to get some light drizzle. The farther east you go, the better chance you are of going to get a little wet. So there you go. It's not raining right now. A couple of stray raindrops came by our area, I don't know, about 20 minutes ago, and it kind of stopped after that. But there we go. So take out where you live, check out where you live, and that's going to be your rain today. As you can see from most of our viewing area, in north central Washington and out into the Columbia Basin, we're going to be dry for the most part, just a little bit of light rain here and there. We are going to be dealing with some wind today as well. These are your peak wind gusts, not your sustained winds. Our sustained winds will be around 15 miles an hour, 15 to 20 miles an hour. We can see gusts a little stronger than that. Ritzville, Moses Lake, you're going to be a little bit windier up there on Highway 2 in Wilbur. You're going to get about 32 degrees. I have no idea why I just did that, 32 miles an hour. These are wind gusts, not sustained winds, and they'll be dying down as this system exits the area. So a little breezy, cooler temperatures today, even though it's already 43 degrees outside of our studios from the National Weather Service. Here we go. Here's what we're looking at. 56 degrees, partly cloudy, some rain. Most of the rain will be this morning. By the way, yesterday's high was 58 and our low was 35. Normally we would be at 56 and 37. It's been a very normal March. Haven't had any dramatic weather, anything crazy going on. We also get 12 hours and 25 minutes of daylight today. Sun came up at 6:55. It'll go down at 7:20. And then look at the sunny, warm weather as high pressure begins to build up over the northwest, which means warm and dry. We go to 59, then to 60 on Friday, 64 on Sunday. Little breezy come on Saturday. A little breezy on Sunday, especially now Sunday afternoon. There's going to be a bit of a shift in the weather as a cold front is going to start making its presence felt. As you can see, we're going to be about 10 degrees cooler for our afternoon high next Monday than we're going to see on Sunday of the weekend. The big change is going to be coming late Sunday afternoon into Sunday night when the next cold front comes in and going to usher in some pretty cool weather. In fact, we'll see overnight lows below freezing on Monday night and Tuesday. Outside of that, once we get through today with the clouds and the wind and a little bit of light rain, we're in for a beautiful stretch of weather right through the end of the weekend before things change on Sunday afternoon and Sunday night. Mountain passes. Here we go. I-90, you're fine. You're good to go. No advisories, no restrictions. They have some light snow. I'm told it is not sticking to the roadway. It's a bit cloudy and a bit foggy, but the roadway itself, which is the key here, it's fine. No advisories, no restrictions. Stevens, though, yeah, a little dicier. There you go. They got a little snow on the roadway there. It's snowing up on Stevens Pass. Traction tires are advised. On US 2, you'll find some snow and slush at the summit of the highway there. Blewett Pass is okay. Roadway is bare and dry. They're kind of in that shadow. Blewett never gets as much snow as I-90 or Stevens because of that. No advisories, no restrictions. Now, for the mountain passes today, I-90 is going to get about 3 inches of snow, but it's not going to snow particularly hard. But you're looking at anywhere from 6 to 7 inches of snow today on Stevens. Stevens is going to get the brunt of the snowfall today, and then an additional 1 to 3 inches of snow tonight, and then they're going to have fine weather until they get to Sunday night, and then more snow. So again, I-90, just a couple of inches of snow, not enough to really dice up their driveway, your drive. But Stevens Pass is going to get more snow, maybe half a foot before this day is over. Then a little bit of light snow tonight, and then they catch a break through the rest of the weekend. All right, so let's move forward on the agenda, which would be news, and that's 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Having a relationship with your pediatrician is so important. Feeling that sense of trust, that is priceless. I tell everybody about CBCH. I love it there. When I make an appointment, I don't have to take an entire day off. As a working mom, my life is really busy. Family time is everything. That's what we all work towards. And I feel like CBCH respects that.
It's March, and Click It RV Moses Lake has gone mad with huge discounts on a huge selection of top brand RVs, which means the lowest prices, factory incentives, and rebates.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Shop online and find the floor plan you like, then build it, price it, and click it. Or come to our huge selection, from travel trailers to fifth wheels, toy haulers to motorhomes. The huge indoor-outdoor RV show is here. Get a better RV and the lowest price guarantee only at Click It RV Moses Lake and ClickItRV.com.
Be a winner like me and get to Click It RV.
Overcast, 43 degrees. Very mild morning here on this Wednesday. We'll be mid-50s. Pretty cloudy for most of the day today. Some light rain still expected before the noon hour. Then sunny and mild right through Sunday afternoon. Here are your headlines. Chelan County Coroner Wayne Harris said excavation work Friday at the lookout at Lake Chelan unearthed bones believed to be those of a Native American. Now, the find halted work at the lakeside residential development while state, local, and tribal investigators work to determine more about the discovery. Harris said a human skull was turned up by an excavator operator about 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon And shortly thereafter, they found an upper arm, shin bone, jaw bones, and rib bones. The coroner is now coordinating with the Colville Confederated Tribes and the Washington State Department of Archaeology and Historic Preservation. The public, by the way, you're advised to avoid the area during the investigation. That may take up to 60 days. Fire ripped through a 4-unit section of an apartment complex in Quincy on Monday night, displacing the occupants of 3 of those apartments. The residents escaped without injury. They're being assisted by the Red Cross and a nearby church. All 4 apartment units were left uninhabitable. One of the units was unoccupied. Grant County Fire District Number 3 Interim Chief Tony Liebelt said the fire started outside the complex under unusual circumstances that he said are under investigation. The fire in the 1000 block of Birch Street Southwest was reported at 7:18. Grant County Fire District 13 and the Ephrata Fire Department assisted Quincy firefighters. Liebelt said it took firefighters less than 40 minutes to get the fire under control, and they were able to clear the scene by about 9:15 on Monday night. An appeals court says 2 people who were convicted but later exonerated in the infamous Wenatchee sex ring prosecutions are not entitled to more compensation from Chelan County for mishandling their cases. Back in the mid-1990s, Meredith Town pled guilty and Doris Green was convicted of child sexual abuse, but both had their cases overturned for violations of their constitutional rights, and later they won a $500,000 federal settlement against the county and the city of Wenatchee for wrongful conviction. In 2016, they sued for further compensation under Washington's Wrongly Convicted Persons Act. A Chelan County judge turned down their case, and yesterday the Court of Appeals agreed, saying the WCPA does not allow double compensation. Town and Green were among about 40 Wenatchee Valley residents arrested between 1994 and 1995 on flawed or false allegations of child sexual abuse and exploitation. Chelan County Prosecutor Doug Shea has found no evidence of wrongdoing in how a local police officer conducted a high-speed chase through Leavenworth back on Christmas Day. 27-year-old Edwin Vasquez Flores was arrested early that morning between Leavenworth and Peshaston. Vasquez was suspected of fleeing a domestic assault arrest in his hometown of Everett. He allegedly fled at high speeds from Snohomish County deputies and the State Patrol. Chelan County Sheriff Sergeant Brian Lewis performed a pit maneuver on Highway 2 that knocked Vasquez's car out of commission. He received minor injuries, and the North Central Washington Special Investigation Unit looked into it as a possible case of bodily harm. Shea's report concluded Lewis had few other options and that other people might have been harmed if he had not used the pit maneuver to stop the speeding vehicle. Negative effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the related layoffs on the statewide and local economies are still evident. In the latest report from the State Employment Security Department, the non-farm employment and unemployment rate from April of 2020 through January of 2021 took a steep downturn, as you see there. The Wenatchee Metropolitan Statistical Area local economy lost 3,200 non-farm jobs between January of 2020 and January of 2021. That's a 7.1% downturn. Infrared drone footage from the Grant County Sheriff's Office shows rescuers being guided to a missing 70-year-old Heartline man. This happened early on Monday morning. The man suffers from dementia. He had wandered away from his rural home about 1:30 in the morning, and personnel from the Heartline and Elmira Fire Departments spent more than 2.5 hours searching for him in temperatures that dipped into the mid-30s. The drone then picked up the man's heat signal, and the operator guided searchers to the missing man, who had laid down in tall sagebrush. The man was not injured. He returned home safely to his family. And finally, Wenatchee's Riverside Park systems are a gem, but it takes cooperation to keep them that way. The Chelan County PUD and the City of Wenatchee have struck a new interlocal agreement to do important work at Riverfront Park. Justin Erickson is the Managing Director of PUD Services, and he outlined the agreement at a recent meeting of the PUD Commission.
This resolution supports an interlocal agreement that solidifies a partnership between the City of Wenatchee and the district with significant benefit to both parties and the community at large. These benefits come in the form of recreational enhancements in Riverfront Park and increased economic development in the City of Wenatchee. Riverfront Park runs along the riverfront from north of 5th Street to where the trail connects with Worthen Street along the south end. Emphasis of our planning effort will be focused in the core area between 5th Street and Pybus. The city of Wenatchee owns the majority of the land in this area, although the district does own the land from the boat launch area south. And the district holds a ground lease, which has been in place since 1983. And we, of course, operate and maintain the park in accordance with our licensing requirements for Rock Island. The city of Wenatchee will provide $2 million for park planning and capital improvements. $200,000 of that $2 million is reserved for this initial planning phase. In addition to the $200,000 match that the district is providing, we will also provide $300,000 to the city for capital improvement projects. The city intends to apply our funding towards their redevelopment efforts in the North Wenatchee area, specifically associated with the McKittrick extension effort, which will build out Columbia Street and facilitate future private development along that property there that was formerly owned by WashDOT. The district's commitment to capital improvement projects in the city is provided as consideration for the city's $2 million commitment to Riverfront Park and the planning effort. And we anticipate that these enhancements will benefit the district and the public through the upgrading of public facilities and by improving recreation in the area. We further believe that such enhancements will also help market and ultimately sell the 5th Street campus site. And we're working on that RFP now.
And that's a look at what's making news here on this Wednesday morning. We will have a newscast for you tonight with Eric and Grant and the whole news team putting together what we think is the most important stories of the day so you can be an informed viewer. And to preview the Wednesday night news, here's Grant Olson.
Thanks, Dan, and good Wednesday morning. Coming up tonight on the NCW Life Evening News, spring showers for our Wednesday and then unseasonably warm weather heading into the upcoming weekend. I'll have all the details in your complete North Central Washington weather forecast. And in sports, Eric Grantstrom will have results from yesterday's high school girls soccer action from around our area. That and all the day's news coming up tonight at 5, 6, and 10 on the NCW Life Evening News. We hope you'll join us then. Dan?
Thank you, Grant. If you have a news tip, you want to drop us a note and say hi, look at the bottom of your screen. Our Facebook page, our home page, our email address, our telephone number. Get a hold of us. Let us know how we're doing, especially if you have a news tip. We always appreciate that. We've had some news tips that have panned out to be some pretty important stuff, so we appreciate it. All right, going to take a break. When we come back, sports, including some Mariner talk. They're starting to shape up, looking pretty good for the upcoming season. We got that in sports, plus we'll have the obscure holiday, today in history, some celebrity birthdays. Everybody is entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. I'm a conversation with Tayla Lynn, whose new album is out, as is her grandmother's. Hint, hint. It's coming up. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
As our students return to learn, the need is great for all positions in the Wenatchee School District. Can you see yourself in these hallways? Or helping support students? Maybe you're an excellent office administrator or educator, or you have a love of sports. The Wenatchee School District is now hiring all levels of positions. You can make the difference in the life of a student and in your own life. Apply now at wenatcheeschools.org. One of the funnest and finest musical events in the Pacific Northwest is happening right here in the Chelan Valley. The Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival is back and better than ever. 4 days, 10 beautiful venues, 13 artists in 23 unique performances. Wine tasting, shopping, and food are also on the menu for this premier event. Get your tickets now for this amazing experience with net proceeds benefiting local charities. We'll see you at this year's Lake Chelan Wine and Jazz Festival.
19 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday's sports. It's hard to believe, but there's just 5 more spring training games left for the Seattle Mariners. They're looking pretty good. Seattle won its 5th game out of their last 6, a 3-0 victory over Arizona last night. Chris Flexen and 4 relievers combined on a 7-hit shutout. Flexen went 5 innings during the victory. He allowed no runs, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, and a walk. Manager Scott Service says, hey, it's the best Flexen has looked all spring.
Awesome game on the mound tonight. I thought our guys threw the ball phenomenal. It's the best we've seen Flexen out there. I thought I got a really nice rhythm, and I thought Tom Murphy did a nice job there in the first inning to try to get him going with some certain pitches. I thought going to the curveball and the changeup super effective, and then he got his fastball going off of those. So, after the first inning, I thought he was in total control, and like I said, it's the best that we've seen him so far this spring. So offensively, we hit a lot of balls hard tonight. I think it stood out for me. I thought Haggerty was right on everything tonight. The line out with the bases loaded, then he got the double later in the game. Marmo continues to swing the bat well, and Evan White smoked the ball tonight too. So hit a lot of balls hard. A few of them were caught. That happens, but like I continue to say, in the last 4 or 5 days, or even longer, we're playing good baseball.
The 26-year-old Flexen is trying to make a major league roster for the first time in his young career, and he said last night he feels he proved something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously tonight was a really good one for me. I had all 4 pitches working tonight. The command was solid. Really got in a groove there with Murph, and just tried to attack guys. And early in spring, I think the focus was really developing those secondary pitches to be able to throw anytime, any count. And being a couple weeks out and getting close to crunch time, really try to kick it into gear and go out and really compete and try to win a ball game tonight.
Seattle played small ball offensively. They got runs in each of the first, 7th, and 8th innings. They are back home in Peoria today to take on the Cubs. Justin Dunn will be making his final start of the spring. He'll take on Zach Davies. First pitch, 6:48. More days until opening day of the baseball season. The second round of the NCAA Women's Tournament continues today. Haley Van Lith's Louisville Cardinals. They're going to be in action. They'll take on Northwestern today at 2 o'clock on ESPN2. Van Lith is coming off a 17-point game in the Cardinals' opening round win over Marist. Haley says she's worked her whole life to experience something like this, even though it's different in the face of the pandemic.
Obviously, this has kind of been the agenda all year, totally different NCAA tournament than ever before. Unfortunately, it's my first one, so kind of experiencing something out of the norm, but still, nonetheless, every day there's just an excitement, like an extra pep in your step. This is what we've worked for 9 months now, and we're finally getting the opportunity to carry it out. So COVID testing, social distancing, we don't care. We just want to play.
Van Lith says she and her teammates have the ability to score from anywhere on the court. It's simply up to them to find the open player.
That's another reason we've been practicing so well. We've all finally just bought into it. Everyone on the team. Double teams coming, we're kicking out to wide open shooters. A help is collapsing in, we're kicking out to shooters, because obviously everyone on this team can shoot. So that's just what makes us so hard to guard. And we're starting to use that to help us instead of kind of using it to hurt us with our shot selection. But I mean, that's kind of the reason that I wanted to come play here. This is what the next level is like. Everyone on your team can score, everyone can shoot, and it's just about playing together and figuring out how to win.
Back in February, Haley was struggling just a little bit. Simply the shots weren't falling. But during the ACC tournament, she got hot again, including a career-high 24 points against Wake Forest. She says for her, she just needs to keep playing.
I wouldn't say I necessarily ever thought I wasn't a good shooter, but it just getting a rhythm in games is something that is really important. Obviously, I'm a rep player. I need to rep things out. I like to practice things a lot. So just being able to feel that in a game situation definitely has me feeling good coming into the tournament. So hopefully we can just keep it rolling and keep getting my teammates shots, and they'll keep getting me shots, and we'll play great.
You can watch Haley and the Cardinals today, taking on Northwestern, 2 o'clock on ESPN2. Jaden Brown continues to score. She's good. She plays for the Eastmont soccer team, by the way. Brown scored 2 goals. Kendall Flanagan had the 2 other goals. Eastmont shutting out Kashmir last night 4-0. In other action on the pitch, Chelan beat Brewster 3-1. Bridgeport doubled up on Liberty Bell 4-2. Manson topping Pateras. Quincy walloped Warden. Freda eked out a 1-0 win over Okanagan. We have live sports tonight here on the NCAA Live channel. Eric will be courtside at the Eastmont High School tonight. Our first volleyball broadcast in 519 days. Wildcats will host the Chiefs. Eastmont 7-1 in the season. Chiefs, they're having a rough year. They're 2-7. so far. Our pregame begins at 6:50. The first serve, 7 o'clock right here on the NCW Life channel. There are a lot of volleyball matches tonight. Take a look at the schedule. Kashmir travels to Wahluke at 6 o'clock, and then at 7 o'clock, you got Okanagan at Ephrata, Chelan hosting Brewster, and Manson is at Oroville. Seahawks have agreed to terms to bring in free agent defensive end Kerry Hyder. This is according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, and he wouldn't lie to us. According to the report, Hyder agreed to a 2-year, $6.5 million deal with a third-year option. He started 14 of 16 games for the 49ers last year, 49 tackles, 8.5 sacks, 18 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for loss. In other Seahawk news, Seattle is also bringing back defensive end Benson Mayowa, and this follows last week's re-signing of Ethan Posick and running back Chris Carson. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Wednesday at 26 minutes after the hour. Didn't have to search too far for the obscure holiday because it was the only one I could find. It's National Chocolate-Covered Raisin Day. Now, when I think of chocolate-covered raisins, I think of two things. Raisinets, even though there are other brand names, there are other companies that make chocolate-covered raisins, but Raisinets just, they're everywhere. And I associate Raisinets with going to the movies with the chocolate-covered raisin. Where do they come from? Not really sure. My guess is somebody just decided to combine them one time. There's no real history of who invented the chocolate-covered raisin, but we're glad that they did. More than 1 million Raisinets are produced every hour. Nestle now owns the Raisinette Company. It was started by the Blumenthal Chocolate Company. They're the ones who came up with Raisinets back in 1927. Nestle bought them out in 1984. It makes sense. They make chocolate, so, that's half the deal. Raisins themselves are an excellent source of calcium, potassium, iron, fiber, and vitamin B. So you combine the raisins and the chocolate, and you got yourself a great tasting, healthy snack. Pop a couple of Raisinets in the old mouth today. Chocolate-covered raisins. Now I want to go to the movies. 27 minutes after the hour. Another friendly reminder that half of the Revolutionary War was us getting a divorce from King George II and doing our own country, and the other half was Great Britain screwing up. And here's another example of Great Britain screwing up. March 24th, 1765, 256 years ago today, the Parliament in Great Britain passes the Quartering Act. What was the Quartering Act? It required the 13 colonies to house and feed British troops. Not a good idea. You mean we have to house them and we have to feed them and we don't like them? That's what Great Britain said, and that was just yet another mistake that Great Britain made, that we just chalked it up and said, okay, going to put that on the list when TJ writes out the Declaration of Independence. Got to make a note on that. Okay, Quartering Act, bad. Happened on this date in 1765. We've all seen the movie The Great Escape, I think. Very entertaining movie. Good stuff. Richard Attenborough and Steve McQueen and James Gardner and the whole 9 yards. The actual event that inspired the movie The Great Escape actually happened on this date 77 years ago today at Stalag Luft 3. 76 Allied prisoners of war began the process of breaking out of the German camp. The Great Escape is a great movie. They took a lot of liberties with The Great Escape. Some characters were simply made up. First of all of the Allied prisoners of war were members of the RAF. They were all pilots or whatever for the Royal Air Force. There were no Americans in this camp. Little heads up on that. So they kind of made up the whole James Gardner and Steve McQueen. Like they weren't actually there. But it's still a good movie, and it's a fascinating story. The Great Escape began 77 years ago today in the wee small hours. 63 years ago today, Elvis, for the next 18 months, your butt belongs to the U.S. Army. There he is. He was sworn into the Army March 24th, 1958. He was supposed to be inducted in January of 1958, but they were making King Creole, Elvis's best movie, by the way. The filming schedule was already set, so Elvis went to the Memphis Draft Board and said, they've spent like $300,000 on pre-production on King Creole, and if you draft me now, they're not going to be able to make the movie, and then all those jobs will be out, and I got to complete the filming. And the Memphis Draft Board said, that's cool. We're cool with that. When you're done with the movie, come back. Then we'll draft you. And they did. And there he goes. Elvis off to the Army for his 18-month hitch, 63 years ago today. Apparently, the captain of the Exxon Valdez thought that the rocks in Prince William Sound were the soft, fluffy kind of rocks. Yeah. The ship had 53 million gallons of crude oil on board. About 11 million of that spilled into Prince William Sound. Turns out later, as we discovered, that the captain was, well, not quite, I don't know, what's the word, sober, I guess. But perhaps the biggest problem at all is the radar didn't work. In fact, the radar on the Exxon Valdez, which would have found these rocks, not only was it not working, it hadn't been working for like 2 years. And Exxon knew about it. They knew the radar didn't work, but they didn't want to fix it. It cost money to fix it. So we don't need radar. Prince William Sound is big. We'll get through there. What an environmental disaster that was. And a disaster from an entirely different mode. I still think about this and I can't believe it. 6 years ago today, March 24th, 2015, Germanwings Flight 9525 crashed in the French Alps. All 150 people on board died. How did it happen? The co-pilot, Andreas Lubitz, well, he had been treated for suicidal tendencies. His doctor said, "You were unfit to work. You should not be a pilot." I'm concerned about that, but Lubitz didn't tell his employer, and instead he reported to duty for Germanwings Flight 9525. And about 30 minutes into the flight, as soon as the plane got to cruising altitude, the captain got out of the cockpit to go to the bathroom. Lubitz locked the cockpit door, set the autopilot from 30,000 feet to 100 feet, and it did a controlled descent right into the mountainside. He killed himself and 149 others. Wow. Captain tried to get back in, too, as you might imagine. Let me in. 32 minutes after the hour. Birthdays. I mentioned Steve McQueen. He would have been 91 years old today, the legendary actor. The movies, of course, he was in The Magnificent Seven. He was great in that. The Great Escape. We talked about that. The Cincinnati Kid. Bullet. The Towering Inferno. The Hunter, his final movies. But Steve McQueen is, in Hollywood circles, he was better known for the roles he turned down. He turned down Paul Newman's role in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. He turned down the lead role in Apocalypse Now. He was supposed to be Dirty Harry. Clint Eastwood got that gig. He was supposed to play the lead in The French Connection. Instead, Gene Hackman got that gig. And he was supposed to play the role that Richard Dreyfuss played in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. He didn't get along with Steven Spielberg. He turned down that role. But Steve McQueen, when he was around, he was one of the best. Born in the state of 1930. A couple of legends celebrate the very same birthday today from the Northwest. Dennis Erickson, born and raised in Everett, was the head coach of Idaho. Then he moved on to Wyoming, then Washington State, and then the University of Miami, and then Oregon State, and then the Seahawks and the 49ers. Now happily retired. Dennis Erickson is 74 years old today. Also, Christine Gregoire, the former governor of the state of Washington. She's also 74 years old today. She was the 22nd governor of the state of Washington. Graduated from the University of Washington and Gonzaga Law School. And Peyton Manning, 14 years, the quarterbacks of the Colts, and then another, 5 years with the Broncos, 2 times the Super Bowl champion, 5 MVP awards, 14 Pro Bowl appearances, still holds a whole bunch of NFL records. And he's also, by the way, a pretty funny guy. Some of the videos that I've seen him do with ESPN are pretty funny. Peyton Manning, 45 years old today. We're going to take a break. Mike Mignotti's got an opinion, and then we're talking country music with Tayla Lynn. She has a new album. You're going to like Tayla. She's a firecracker. She's a lot of fun. We visited with Tayla via Skype yesterday, and you'll see that when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
It's the huge grand opening of Click It RV in Moses Lake. Click It RV and the RV manufacturers have joined together to offer huge incentives and savings.
You guys gotta beat the spring rush and get in here now.
Everything is coming up zero, with 0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, 0 worries, lifetime warranty, and 0 for a solar panel with any RV purchase. It's a 000 grand opening going on now at Click It RV in Moses Lake. And get into Click It RV for parts, service, new and used during this huge grand opening sale.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
Boating in the Wenatchee Valley starts at Bob File Boats and Motors. Now you can fish like a pro without breaking the bank thanks to the ProMag aluminum fishing boat by Smokercraft. It features a great layout with a spacious bow casting platform, huge live wells, and in-floor storage to safely stow your gear. See the Smokercraft line of boats at Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee or online at bobfile.com.
Bob File Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bob File's gonna make you smile.
With PUD rebates, we'll give you money to upgrade your house and reduce your energy footprint.
The rebates are real. Visit conservationmakessense.org to learn more.
Badger Mountain Brewing is proud to announce the grand opening of our new kitchen. Come try out our new menu featuring fabulous steaks, prime rib, gourmet burgers, and seafood grilled up by experienced meat master, Chef Galen Goodman. To complement your mouth-watering meal, Badger Mountain Brewing features 14 in-house crafted beers, an alcohol-free root beer infused with 11 different herbs and spices, 3 different ciders, and a great wine selection. Don't miss out on the best meats and the best brews down at Badger Mountain Brewing, located at 1 Orondo Avenue across the tracks from the Pybus Market.
JDSA Law is a proud sponsor of these local sports broadcasts. They've been serving North Central and Eastern Washington since 1946. For over 70 years, their team of dedicated professionals has delivered quality, innovative legal services. JDSA Law partners with you to provide the finest legal advice and support as you navigate your personal and business challenges, risks, and accomplishments. At JDSA Law, they salute our local athletes and wish them well on another excellent season of competition.
Hi, I'm Shauna Larson. I'm the designated broker here at Laura Mounter Real Estate. We are a locally owned firm, and we've worked hard to earn our reputation of always doing business the right way. Laura Mounter Real Estate is continually investing in the best technologies and highest quality marketing. For these reasons, our community has voted us the world's best real estate office for the past 5 years. If you have real estate needs, let a Laura Mounter real estate agent show you the difference.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. I've been reading a book by Roman Catholic theologian Richard Rohr. Now, I have to say, I do think a lot of Rohr's questions and the theological dilemmas he faces would be clear to him if he was married, had a wife, and had kids. Okay, now no disrespect to the Roman Catholic Church, but both of the mysteries and meaning of life and questions and stuff like that they might have been made clear to me simply because I'm married and I have a family. Now, learning to live and get along with someone else, particularly as someone who is as different and wonderful as Rosie is for me, has caused me to grow and change in ways I otherwise never would have. That's pretty simple, actually. If the Roman Catholic Church would just let their priests get married and have kids, they'd understand our life a whole lot better. I mean, just like you and me. Well, that is, if you're not a Catholic priest anyway. Well, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Come on, I'm a certified technician. I was trained to take good care of you.
9. I've only been to the dealer.
I've been coming here for years. These guys are great.
Look around. The BMW, the Jag, the Volvo, they're all waiting for regular service. Well, the BMW has a little computer issue, but that's nothing we can't handle. Come on in.
From regular maintenance to computer troubleshooting, trust the Global Car Care technicians with your import, diesel-powered, or domestic vehicle. Global Car Care. They speak your car's language.
Dankeschön.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available in the GMC Sierra.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine in style at Highlander Bar and Grill located at the beautiful Highlander Golf Course in East Wenatchee. Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner with dine-in or takeout options. Highlander Bar and Grill's friendly staff is here to serve you 7 days a week. Call for reservations Friday night prime rib dinner. Contact Shalane, Highlander Grill's site coordinator, to schedule your corporate event or special occasion today.
I'm Dr. Wayne Latimer. I'm a chiropractic physician. I have postgraduate certifications in both whiplash, trauma and rehab, as well as sports medicine. The location is great. The light and the visibility, the 17-foot ceilings are fantastic. You can go into a lot of clinics and it's very clinical. People really like the spa environment. So my whole premise was take a spa environment, add the very serious rehab, and give people an enjoyable way to get better over time.
I am Dan Kuntz, safely ensconced in Studio 3 here in downtown Wenatchee with the mountains behind me. She is in beautiful Tennessee. She's beautiful inside and out. She's part of the extended Kuntz clan. There's a lot of us, and I finally get to have Tayla Lynn on this program. Hey, Tay.
Hi, Uncle Dan. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. We have a lot to talk about. First of all, Tay has a brand new album out, just came out, and we'll talk about that album and how it came to be. I'll give you a little hint. Tayla's last name, Lynn, and some of the songs that she sings, all of the songs that she sings on the new album have a certain connection to her grandmother. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Oh, there you go. There's Loretta.
I got to figure out the Skype. Yeah.
So Tay, first things first, introduce yourself to our television family for people who don't know Tayla Lynn. Give us a little background about yourself.
Good afternoon or morning, whatever it may be. My name is Tayla Lynn. I am a female from the southern part of the United States, Nashville, Tennessee. And I am happily married to Dan's nephew, John Finger, and we live outside of Nashville at my grandmother, Loretta Lynn's ranch. It's called the Loretta Lynn Dude Ranch. It's about 60 miles west of Nashville. And I have been singing her songs and been on the road with her my whole life. And I am so excited about finally doing a record that's simply just called Tayla Lynn Sings Loretta Lynn. And she's very supportive of it, and she's been endorsing my tour for years. And it's my passion, so I get to do what I love every day, which is wonderful. I have 2 little boys. They're 8 and 5, and they are a madhouse, and certainly my passion as well.
So I guess the first question, Tay, is why did it take so darn long for you to finally record Mima's songs? It seems that you would have done this a long time ago.
It does. I think for a long time I thought I was too cool. I was trying to do more of the pop country thing with my trio, Stealing Angels. We had a record deal for years with Paul Worley, who produced the Dixie Chicks and Lady Antebellum, Martina McBride, and we were doing our own thing. And even though we included some of her songs in our set, I think I was trying to do something a little bit different. And I realized that my heart was always, and even when I was a little girl, it was always in singing her music, singing her songs with her. And as I got older and settled down and got married, I think it takes us a little while to figure out what is my authentic self. What is it that I do well, that people like, that isn't really a struggle for me. And that's not that I could ever sing as well as Mima, but it just, it took years to finally go, okay, this is what I want to do. And then to get the indie record deal in Texas with Heart of Texas Records, for them to believe in me enough to put money behind it and make it. So it took a record deal too there, Uncle D.
So you and your Mima have a lot in common, but to me, the thing that grabs me the most is your grandmother, Loretta Lynn, and your life is an open book. You are a straight shooting, honest person. You have no qualms talking about your past, good, bad, or otherwise. Loretta is the same way. She's a straight shooter. She's said, everybody knows the story of the coal miner's daughter, and you're the same way, Tayla. You don't back off from a fight. But on the other hand, you say, I've had some rough goes, and a lot of it was my own doing.
Yeah, I think, she gave me permission from a really young age to to talk about my life. I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict, and that's gotten me to where I was. And, I didn't get sober until I was 27, and she took me right back out on the road. And I think as long as we're being honest, and again, that word, authentic, as long as we're being honest about who we are and we're trying to change and be better, which is sort of the story of Coal Miner's Daughter. Really, if you'll read the book, which I had watched the movie every day of my life growing up, but I had never read the book until I was older. And she is so bold and raw and courageous in these stories that she tells. And to have a grandmother that gives you permission to tell it like it is, and to be married to somebody, and I'm not just saying this because he's your nephew, but to be married to a man that's strong enough, like my grandfather and like John Cody, that allows you to speak your truth and say, hey, I really messed up and lived sort of a gutter life. I was a gutter drunk alcoholic. I was just a low bottom addict. But it shows people that you can change, and you can be loved, and you can be valuable and live a worthy, fulfilling life if you just stop it and reassess and find. For me, it was finding God again. I was lost, and now I am found. And having people like Mima and my family to support me in that. Sorry, that was a long answer to what you said, but it's important for me to say all of that.
There are so many Loretta Lynn songs, classic Loretta Lynn songs, going all the way back to the early 1960s. How did you decide what songs of Mima's that you were going to do for your new album? I mean, how do you pick from that cornucopia of classic country?
She decides a lot for me. She's always been very, I was, like I said, I was on the road with her forever, and she does not back off from telling me what I sing well, what I should not sing, how I can sing something better. And we went through a long list of her songs, and, we picked some of the hits, but also a few of those are songs that my mama sang to me in the car driving down the street, Black Eyed Peas and Blue Eyed Babies and The Old Rooster's Back and He's Crowing. Those were songs that were on our record player that Mama sang while she was cleaning the house when we were little. So they brought back, those were ones that were dear, dear, dear to me, that Meemaw doesn't sing on stage, but that were important to me. And plus the gospel song. I mean, our family, we're from the Bible Belt. We love us some Jesus. So you got to always throw your Jesus in there. So I did a gospel medley. That's probably my favorite song on the record.
Mima's new album is called Still Woman Enough. It's her 46th studio album for Loretta Lynn. And on your Facebook post, you said, I can barely listen to Mima's new record. It's so raw and so good. Explain that.
So I had listened to a little bit of it before it came out, but the day that it dropped, we were at the beach with the family, and I put it on Spotify, and I think anybody can relate to remembering the times when and I hope I say this right, but when your family was at its most energetic, you remember, I mean, you've had people that have passed that you just remember those times when I was 20 and on the road with Mima, and I thought she was old at 60, and she was teaching me everything, and we were just everywhere and in Canada and going, and just, life was ablaze. And, she's not on the road anymore. And for right now, I mean, she might go back out there. She is a bulldog, and she'll probably be out there till she's 120. But, it's just those times that you look back and go, my God, I didn't soak them up the way that maybe I should have. And now they're gone, and I miss them. And, I miss hearing my mom. My mom passed away, hearing my mom sing those songs. And it's just hard that, how raw that music is. And it takes you back, some of that music, to where you're like, God, I can't it hurts. I can't even think about it. You know, imagine your beautiful mother making not that my grandmother's gone. I don't want to make it sound like that, but you know, that sort of life when she was 60 is certainly not the way it is today. And if you had that on tape and, you know, you listen to that, it's hard. It's hard. Even though she is still here, she lives down the street from me, it still brings that back. I hope I said that in a way that doesn't make her sound like she's dead and gone or anything, because she will remind you that I'm not allowed to do a tribute show and call it a tribute show because she will say, I ain't dead yet. So she reminds me. Like, if she knew I was saying that, she'd be like, oh my God, I'm right here. The drama much?
Loretta will be 89 years old in just a couple of weeks. I think the middle of April is her birthday. She's doing well. She had a minor stroke a number of years ago. She is all but recovered. As I listened to the album Still Woman Enough, you wouldn't know she's had any health issues at all. And I love the fact that she is re-recorded some of her classics on the album Still Woman Enough. We're talking about Loretta. And she did some duets with Reba McEntire's on it, and
Reba, Tina Tucker, Margot Price,
but she also did some songs on this new album, Loretta, that I've never heard before, that apparently are associated with her. I was rather surprised.
Yeah, what I can't even name all the ones on the record, Dan. Don't put me on the spot here. What are they called? Which one are you talking about?
There's a couple of gospel songs. And the way that she redid Coal Miner, the way that she did her big hit.
Let's just talk about Coal Miner's Daughter for a second, because that is one I'm familiar with. I have to tell you that it's called a recitation, right? Where all you do is talk the words of Coal Miner's Daughter. So on July the 5th this year, we recorded a video for Coal Miner's Daughter. And we did it I didn't do anything. I sat there. She did it in the Butcher Holler replica house that is on the ranch. And for hours, we sat there and listened to her word Coal Miner's Daughter and do a video in that replica house of Butcher Holler. And we all I can't explain the tears. I know I'm not explaining it well. But my aunt, myself, her roommate, best friend, Tim Cobb, we all were just bawling. She just has a way of jumping through the speakers at you. So it was so loud, and the fans were outside, and she had this big ball gown on, and it was like just this full circle moment, you know, where she's speaking it now instead of singing it. I mean, it was just incredible. And the gospel stuff, you know, she's always done that really well. But in her life right now, God is so important. And that's something that she preaches, for lack of a better word. Anytime you're around her, you know, she definitely wants to bring up God and people that have passed. I mean, I think she's just at a time in her life where she knows what's important and she wants to share that.
Well, there's nothing cosmetic about Loretta Lynn, and there's nothing cosmetic about you. It's the real deal, 100%. Tayla, we're almost out of time. How do people, first of all, Loretta's new album is called Still Woman Enough. Again, it's her 46th studio album. You can get it anywhere. Just Google it and you'll find out.
You know, number one on iTunes and Amazon, and Spotify is being streamed like crazy. And she was the number one shared country artist on social media the day that record dropped. I'm sorry, I have to brag about it just a little bit. So you can get that everywhere. And LorettaLynn.com is a great place to go and get it and get your bundle. And as far as my record, I'm always on Facebook and Instagram under Tayla Lynn. Come find me. We have a website, TaylaLynn.com. It's being reworked right now, so just be patient and just keep clicking on there every day.
Tayla, I miss you. We haven't seen each other in forever. John Cody and True.
This year later.
We're doing it. We're making it happen, one way or the other. So, Tayla, I love you. I love the new music. Say hi to John Cody and True and Scout and everybody down there in beautiful Tennessee. And let's visit again soon, okay?
I can't wait. Thank you so much for having me on. I love you. This was so fun. I always enjoy talking to you. So thank you. I really appreciate you having me on.
Again, it's called Tayla Lynn Sings Loretta Lynn. Get it now. Just go to Facebook and type in Tayla Lynn, and you'll find it. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
When you think of Doghouse Motorsports, you might think of motorcycles, but there's a lot more in this house. How about Honda power equipment? From snowblowers to lawnmowers to generators and even water pumps, Honda is the brand that sets the standards. Perhaps you need an ATV or UTV. The Doghouse has the largest selection anywhere. Did we mention watercraft and snowmobiles? And of course, we have motorcycles too. Back it up with terrific customer service and you have Wenatchee's best motorsports store 5 years running. Isn't it time for you to be in the Doghouse?
It's estimated that 1/3 of Americans do not have a financial plan. At D.A. Davidson, their advisors are working to change that because they understand the importance of planning for the future. At D.A. Davidson, they believe in partnering together to build a strategy tailored to your needs. They spend the time and have the knowledge to help keep your financial future on track. Let D.A. Davidson Financial Advisors of Wenatchee put the strength of advice to work for you.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs. We are back here at 57 minutes after the hour. Looks like some of the clouds behind us have cleared out just a little bit. We are due to have a little storm system kind of slide in and out of the Wenatchee Valley with some clouds and some rainy conditions in some locations. But as you can see from the slide from the National Weather Service, maybe not. That big area there where there is not green is us. That's the North Central Washington area. So because we're in the lee of the Cascades, we're in the rain shadow, we should get just a couple of light drops here and there. No significant rain. However, it could be a little on the breezy side. Today, here's your peak wind gusts today. As you can see, some locations going to get up there pretty good. Up in the Waterville Plateau, over the Wilbur, and then of course Ellensburg is always a little windy. Down in Ellensburg and the Yakima area, Tri-Cities is going to have quite a bit of wind today. Not so much here in the Wenatchee Valley as this system passes through. It's moving at a pretty good clip. It did bring some snow, by the way, to the Cascades. In fact, while I have that on my radar, I'll let you know right now that they still have a traction tire advisory on Stevens Pass, by the way. It's been snowing up on Stevens and on I-90 for quite some time. I-90 is expecting 2 to 3 inches of snow today. Stevens is going to get more. They're going to get about a half a foot of snow. So it's winter driving conditions. And in fact, right now on I-90, they do have a traction tire advisory with some snow and slush on the roadway. So the snow has picked up in intensity, but it should be tapering off later on in the day. In fact, right now, the snow is coming down about as hard as it's going to come down in the Cascades. So they're going to get some snow today, a little bit of leftover snow tonight. From the National Weather Service, here's what we have for you. Ta-da! Again, systems coming in, going to come out. So we're going to have partly cloudy skies. Light raindrop or two is not out of the question, and also a little breezy. And we'll get up to about 55 or 56 degrees. Mostly cloudy tonight, 36 for the overnight low. By the time you wake up Thursday, a little leftover wind as the cold front will all be out of the area pretty much by 9 or 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. It's going to give way to sunshine. We'll be up near 60 for the afternoon high. Clear skies, 34 for the overnight low on Thursday night. And then high pressure will definitely be well entrenched by the time we get to Friday. Look at that high, about 60. In fact, the nicest weekend of the year coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 60 to 64. A little cooler on Sunday with a high of 63, but beautiful outdoor weather to go out and recreate or yard work or golf or whatever it is. Very pleasant outdoor weekend coming our way for Saturday and Sunday. Late on Sunday now, Late on Sunday, a shift in the weather is expected. As you can see, another cold front is going to come through. Look at the difference for the afternoon high between Sunday and Monday, quite a bit. So there you go. All right, that's it for us. Have yourself a good and safe Wednesday. Don't forget, we got high school volleyball tonight at 7 o'clock. Take care. Bye-bye.